Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. Today's video is a crazy one. I'm not gonna lie, I think this might be one of my most insane games and even I don't really know what to tell you. I think it's just best to show you. Looking at my packs here, I kind of want to play aggro. I'm up against Scion, winner of the Mag 1 Open Season. Very, very strong player. And, well, I know that he's a very strong defensive player, and I kind of want to go aggressive here. So I think I'll be picking up the Farseer Specialist with the Steel Balls because of that. Of course, no Chaff Opener, which is not ideal, but a strong Specialist with the Farseer spec, and I'm going to be up against Tarantulas. Typically, you would expect these to be played aggressively, but I know Scion, and he does have a knack for this type of setup, and we will be seeing him defending in this particular game, going symmetrical there with the spiders in front of the towers. Now, as for myself, I'm just going to be picking a side, pushing to the right side in this case. Opponent picks up 2 marksmen, and yeah, I'm likely just going to be picking up some crawlers to go alongside the steel balls here. Likely going to be putting them behind the steel balls, hopefully having the spiders lock on to the balls in this case and kind of tank as the crawlers get in. I should be favored. I am expecting to win the first round. My opponent, by the way, is a Fire Batter Specialist, so both of us have already unlocked our special unit, with the Farseer being unlocked and the Fire Batter being unlocked. Whether we actually decide to buy more of them, we'll have to see. And now, all that remains is starting the round and seeing how this is going to be playing out. Looks like some of the crawlers here don't get pulled. I didn't go for my usual mid-pull in this case, but if we can lock onto the spider, I think we should be completely fine. The debuff shouldn't really matter too much. And in fact, with how fast we're moving, we might get the debuff first, or at least at around the same time. Okay, looks like our tower will fall first. That's usually a good thing. And then we'll get a debuff as well. Will we be moving for the other tower? Looks like we are. We do have some Assassin Steel Balls, though, joining the fray of Arc Lights and trying to get a debuff. That will be the first round over with, so kind of as expected. Just got to get rid of the final crawlers, and that'll be all she wrote. Now, Scion, of course, was kind of meant to lose the first round, as half of his army wasn't really in the fight. But round 2, we get unit reinforcements and maybe a chance for Scion to stabilize. Now, I was expecting him to go for Sledgehammer here, because level 2 Sledgehammer is very hard to kill, especially for things like steel balls, and it provides exactly the type of stall that you need against this type of push. So that's what I was expecting. Now, I thought about Sledgehammer for a bit myself, because I just think it's very strong, but I don't have anti-air, and I think Phoenix is just too solid not to pick when you're playing aggro. So I will be picking that. I did think about Sledgehammer, like maybe pushing left side or something, but I thought it would be too sketchy and my opponent would likely go into Scorpion if I start having Steel Balls and Sledgehammers on the field. And here he goes for a Stormcaller Cheese on the left side tower. Again, not really what I was expecting. And, well, I'll probably lose my tower here. We'll see what I do. I actually have 400 resources left, and so I'll decide to pick up another crawler, kind of work on the chaff. And then I thought, why not pick up a Farseer? Farseer round 2 is one of the strongest drops in the game, period. So if you can just buy one and still get your deployments down, that sounds like a good idea to me. Right side is being reinforced by Scion with another spider and a Fang. And yeah, you can see the Farseer here. I am deciding to push the left side, but sadly the Farseer is not far up enough that it will tank for the tower. So I will lose my tower. The Stormcallers will turn their attention then to the Farseer, which will get one shot. And yeah, a little bit of a unexpected start to the turn. I will say though, right side doesn't even look that bad. The debuff is already over, and it doesn't look like my opponent was really able to capitalize on those 9 seconds. I think I was mostly still moving, and so was he. And it looks like we might even end up winning the round here, depending on how well the Phoenixes do and this tower debuff. Okay, we do lose one Phoenix, but now we get the debuff ourselves. And as the spider falls, that is simply going to be around. The steel balls get underneath the gun line. The Phoenix is still alive. And somehow, some way, we've managed to win a round where our opponent went for a one-turn play, right? Like, we have this guy over here. And he's probably going to sell it because, well, now the cat's out of the bag, so there's no real point like keeping it there. We get a whole bunch of good items on round 3. Port Shield, Amplifying Core, and Improved Firepower Control System. I decided to go for the Port Shield, one of the best items in the game for a Steel Ball, and since my Steel Ball leveled, I really couldn't say no to that. Anti-Interference, though, pretty good item too. I've been starting to pick it more as of late, mostly because I've been playing a lot of Assault Marksman, but it's been growing on me as a strong item, just against tower debuff, but also because I tend to play a lot of boards that are somewhat vulnerable to being hacked, and the same thing is true for the Steel Balls in this case. But oh well, let's see how this goes. Opponent immediately ranges his Tarantulas and picks up the improved Firepower Control System on that middle Tarantula. Also gets access to his Fire Badger. We'll be trying to defend here on the right side. Left side still somewhat open though. I decided to add a Crawler and a Phoenix, and I'm hoping that this will be able to beat the enemy Spider. Let's see how the round unfolds. Looks like our Crawlers actually died pretty fast. The Farseer is not quite good enough there at killing the Crawlers, and the Marksman will take down my Phoenixes, so sadly I don't seem to win the left side, and the right side we're getting bogged down a lot here onto the enemy chaff. Arclights are simply not good enough on aggro most of the time. They don't chaff clear fast enough, and of course they're weak to both shielded fangs and loose formation crawlers, so typically you're gonna need to buy something like a Wraith or, I mean honestly, Hounds. Hounds have felt really good on aggro, and they're small enough that you can invest into a lot of them, and they clear quick enough because of Mech Rage that you don't need to have another chaff clear unit, usually. Round number 4 here, and Scion decides to skip. There is a super heavy armor which I'm thinking about, also nano repair kit, and because my main problem is chaff clear, have a look at this staircase of chaff right here. Very nice positioning, kind of preventing the pull, because the line for pulling kind of walks across this diagonal here. Yeah, I'm thinking about chaff clear mostly. If the steel balls can lock on, I've got the damage, but I need something, and so I buy a Wraith. Also, I pick up the super heavy armor, probably the other, like, good item for steel balls. Kind of debatable which one is better, Port Shield or super heavy, but I can't really say no to it. Sadly, though, the steel ball is only level 1, but hopefully with the added tankiness it can do something. As I say that, have a look at that. Scorpion picked up there for Scion, sells out of the Fire Badger, and adds another spider to the left side as well as some fangs. So yeah, the chaff really starting to get out of hand here. Probably should have added some chaff gear on the left side, but for now we're focusing mostly on the right side and hopefully able to stall the left. Oil coming out there at the very end, that's going to be very painful. Will slow down my steel ball sadly, and well, this Scorpion is able to one-shot level 2 steel balls, so it'll get rid of the shield instantly. And with that lock, things are not looking too good. Have a look at this. Perfectly locked on, my crawlers got taken care of and everything slowed down, so we don't quite manage to lock on to the Scorpion for long enough. Lucky for me, I still do have the level 2 Phoenixes, and hopefully they can do something, but man, this is starting to look like I'm going to be taking a lot of damage. Left side completely losing. Phoenixes doing what they can, but they don't quite have the damage to get rid of another spider. And so, yeah, now we're down to 2,500 hit points, entering round 5, not where you want to be. Round number 5, and we've got a bunch of unit variants showing up, including Elite Hacker. And here I decided to pick it up. Smoke Bomb is a bit scary, and I probably do have to play around that. But man, Scion knows and goes for the Elite Hacker there himself. Reason I go for Elite Hacker here is the steel balls are just not really working out that well from the looks of it, so I'm deciding to sell out of them. Starting with the low-level steel ball there, probably transitioning it onto the left, where there is no Scorpion just yet. And I immediately pick up a Hacker at level 3 because of the Elite card and give it range. Also, of course, putting down a shield in case Scion went for the smoke. And in fact, I transitioned the Super Heavy onto my Wraith. realizing that maybe these steel balls won't be able to do too much, and trying to make some use out of the Wraith that I have. I would like a beacon if I have the money. I have 100 left here. Arclight has been added on the left side just to try and shaft here a little bit. And we see the same staircase there being applied on the other side. Very aesthetically pleasing. Very symmetrical. And yeah, we see the beacon here just onto the steel balls and the Arclight, trying to avoid both the oil and that scorpion. And let's see how this hacker can perform. Wraith is moving in. Should start shooting at the enemy crawlers and fangs very soon. I do get locked though, and that marksman is level 3, so not sure how long this guy will be able to survive. Steel balls locking on to the shield. We'll get rid of it, and we'll almost kill the scorpion, well, leaving them at 50% hit points so the hacker can take it over. And now that all the chaff is gone, it is time for the hacker to do its thing. Level 3 hacker is an absolute menace. I think this card is honestly kind of broken. Because often the problem with hackers is at level 1 they lack some attack value, so they can't hack everything. But at level 3 their attack value starts getting so high that they don't even always care about things like barriers, which are supposed to counter them. And yeah, have a look at this. Somehow we win that round, while Scion used 2 shields, which we both got, and we managed to set up our hacker as we're still in the process of transitioning out of steel balls and into hackers. Round number 6, we get 4 level 2 hounds showing up, and I think, okay, well, you know what? Opponent has a high level marksman. That Wraith wasn't looking too hot, and yeah, I'm simply going to use the hounds here. I mean, 4 deployments, that's going to be plenty. I just need to range them. Eventually, probably go mech rage. It is far easier here to go wide and make sure that the new hackers I purchase have some hound buddies to chaff there for them. And yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. Hacker on the left side now. Again, we're going to go for this beacon. I sold out of the Wraith. An opponent sold out of the Scorpion and now uses the elite hacker card himself. Triple hacker even. With range as well. I have 1 level 4 hacker though, and have a look at this. Opponent picked up the melting point and threw that onto my flank. Not sure what that is about. Doesn't look like my Phoenixes will turn though. It's just going to be the Farseer, which will probably die. But melters are kind of slow and it doesn't have range, so I don't think this will matter too much. Meanwhile, hacker that I added in the middle immediately takes over a spider. And there goes another one. That'll help a lot here with the chaff clear as it's killing its own crawlers. Steel balls with a beacon, somehow managing to get to the hacker without getting taken over. And that is looking very good for us. Right side now completely taken over. We even hack a level 3 hacker. Now that becomes ours. And as we lose a tower to that melter, which I only saw during the round at this point, doesn't look like it'll matter too much, as we'll get a good round in, take over the final units, and all we need to do now is get rid of this melter or hack it. Looks like it will be the hacking. And so a really good round 6, sending Scion down to 1600 hit points. Round number 7. We get advanced shield device, which normally would be pretty good against hackers, but I'm playing hackers, so I could just build barrier instead. Scion decides to go for the incendiary bomb. Logical choice. I'm kind of the one pushing in here, so I can't do very much about this fire that's positioned in the front. And so I probably just want to pick up the ab core, which is what I do. Throwing that onto a hacker now will boost its hit points and also its attack value, meaning it'll hack faster. And now we sell out of the small steel balls, retrieve the super heavy armor, and at this point, well, I've got a super heavy armor lying around and I don't really know what to do with it because ideally I don't want to give it to, well, any like units that can get hacked, which is also why you see me beacon the steel balls backwards this time, trying to avoid this hacker for some, at least the early round. And yeah, well, we're just gonna give this to the hacker. So yep, that's now a 32k hit point hacker with the super heavy armor. I think that's perfectly fine. We also do pick up the barrier. Same thing for Scion. I mean, both of us here understand that In these hacker mirrors, barrier is very important, as hackers deal a third of their attack value when they need to deal damage, which is the case against something like barriers or anti-interference module or, you know, towers. And let's see how this goes. Left side obviously won't have very much in the terms of chaff, and also starting to burn my hounds, which is the worst part because, well, my hounds are my chaff clear. At the same time though, a lot of these fangs and crawlers seem to have burned up as well. Now it all comes down to who will hack who first. Doesn't look like I'm very favored this time around. Those steel balls, even though they arrive late, getting taken over. And we're still working on some chaff there on the right side. I will start taking over some of the spiders, but the barriers holding strong for Scion. And, well, as we're playing some ping pong here with the spiders on the left and the right, doesn't look like I'll be coming out ahead in this one. The hacker just keeps hacking the spider back for Scion. And I'm going to be taking a lot of damage here with 4 hackers left alive and all those spiders, 6 of them. But I am still alive, sitting at 300 hit points. And round number 8, we get one of my favorite cards, Improved Wasp, which is the card that I run my Wasp techs for specifically. Although there is a nuke as well. But I thought to myself, it didn't look like I was breaking the shields anytime soon. So why try and nuke the opponent when I know that the barriers will probably still be up by the time it lands? Let's go for the Improved Wasp card instead. Opponent is very weak to Wasps currently. Never mind level 2 Improved Wasps, which are even scarier. And so let's give that a go. I retrieved my portable shield from the steel balls I sold, so now we finally got rid of all of the units that are very bad into hacker. And that'll allow us to buy both the range and I think the high explosive ammo as well here on the Wasps. Opting to go for high explosive ammo here I think makes sense because there is a whole bunch of, well, small units that we need to deal with. And it seemed like the hounds were struggling a little bit, so giving them some help seemed like a good idea. Wasps will be getting the portable shield, which is very nice because I don't run the shield tech on Wasp, but it is very powerful if you do have it. And now we get an interesting play. We get a War Factory on the line, level 1. And the opponent goes for enhanced control on the hackers, which is very good in the mirror. And at the moment, I wasn't running it. I was running multiple control for a bit, which I don't think is very good. But yeah, I didn't have access to that. Of course, this factory, though, will just get hacked instantly, as it is merely level 1 and these hackers are very high level. But now they get hacked back. And when it gets hacked back, it is full health. And then we need to hack it back from full health. And now it gets hacked again. And so here we go once more. And then again, the factory, we take it over. And luckily a hacker here gets stuck on my barrier. And it looks like maybe the factory will be ours. But no, it'll get hacked once more. Meanwhile, the right side, we're taking over some spiders. Looks like we're winning this time. As we get rid of the barriers first, the spider smartly turns around, gets the debuff. Now we're playing ping pong with the spiders. I think the factory finally, did become ours once more. And it will end up on our side as we take the round win. But it's not going to be quite enough as we send Scion down to 118 hit points. Entering round 9 with a unit drop. Now I decided to pick up the steel balls because steel balls on the line or against a factory on the line tend to be quite good. What I didn't think about is that of course I do have hackers as well. So what I wanted to do here is kill the enemy factory so that we don't have to play ping pong with it because I don't have enhanced control. So this is just a bad thing for me. Like I don't trust this whatsoever. But yeah, I can't really stop the hackers from hacking this. Unless I like beacon backwards, but I can't beacon both of them backwards. So no matter what here, this is gonna be my factory. And then they'll get hacked back to full health. Yeah, well, we went steel balls on the left and the right side because with range, because I wanted to try and kill this. The factory now gets armor. And my opponent picks up 2 overlords from the drop. Still needs to address these wasps, though. They're now both level 3, and I'm not too sure if he's done that here. No money left, though, on his side, so we'll have to see how this goes. The enhanced control, though, is very scary, and yeah, I don't really know what to do about it. It's just objectively better for my opponent to have this than it is for me not to have it on the bar. Also, I am potentially giving him some steel balls here, but I guess we can just hack them back. Also deciding to go for EMP now on the Farseer because it only cost 100, and, well, having some source of EMP hitting random targets is honestly quite good. And yeah, you can see here steel balls are doing a good job, but we hack the factory and then it gets hacked back, and then, well, we do it all over again. You get the gist of it. Yeah, well, just your average, you know, elite hacker mirror. I don't know what to tell you. These steel balls also are just like Sisyphus pushing up the boulder up the hill. Every time they think that they're done with the factory, but it just keeps coming back at full health. Finally, though, the last steel ball will go down on the left side, but in the meantime, eventually the hackers lock onto my barriers instead of the factory, and it looks like the wasps have been getting some uptime in between the moments where the factory was on our side of the board and have been killing the chaff, and eventually we start pushing through on the left, and as we get the debuff, we're managing to get an advantage. And even one steel ball is still alive here, I don't know how. And it looks like we will be taking the win on round number 9. This game was absolutely crazy. I don't even know what to tell you about this one. Very hard to analyze. Well, I think the only thing here is he didn't deal with the wasp, realistically. I think steel balls was a mistake, but I don't really know what to do here. Like, he's just got me beat in terms of mirror attacks. Like, I should have enhanced control. And honestly, I kind of like this. I thought it was a very smart play to put the factory there and just hack it back to full health every time. Yeah, but he just didn't address the wasps. So eventually we break through the left and we get the win. Let's briefly go over to the replay feature and then see if we can win if we add like Mustangs to Scion's board. Alright, so we've got some units here. I'm not sure if the overlords are that useful, but I guess he could take them. We've got 1,300, and I think we need to buy like as many Mustangs as we possibly can. So maybe we just take a steel ball. I don't know. Let's pick the overlords as well. I think it's fine to do that. And maybe put them on the right side. And then, is there anything that we can sell? We definitely need to loan and get temp range. That's for certain. Mustangs are unlocked. But the money is very low here, I will have to say. We need the range, that's for sure. I get that it's a bit scary, because maybe I would put some wasps on the left as well. Which is probably why he put the 2 overlords on this side to begin with. I could try and sell something, but it's a little bit sketchy. Wondering if I can just sell maybe the spider here on the right side. I don't think it's that important, and instead give this to the Mustangs. And then we should be able to buy another Mustang here on the left, just in case there would be some wasps. And that leaves us with a little bit of money. Now, do I want to give that to one of the hackers? Probably. I guess ideally we'd be taking over this guy. So let's do that and see how this works. So factory will keep getting hacked. It doesn't have the armor like it had, so it might die this time. It does keep getting taken over. And it looks like this time around, it's looking a lot better. Yeah, the Mustangs are now connecting. Left side is winning from the looks of it. Those Mustangs are really doing a good job. And the factory, yeah, this time around, doesn't become ours. And we don't manage to push through. And yeah, that would have been plenty to win the match. So all it took there was just to buy the counter to Wasp, which is typically going to be Mustang. And Mustang also is a very good unit against Hacker in general. Annoying to take over, but has enough DPS to fight hackers. So yeah, hope that you like this. If you've got anything to say about it, the Elite Hacker card, the War Factory Ping Pong, put it in the comments. If you want to stay up to date with my latest content, please consider subscribing. And if you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. With that being said, take care, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.